question. Everyone in our community deserves access to housing. However, we know discrimination keeps people from accessing safe and affordable choices at times, resulting in homelessness. We have 60% of the county Black. Do you support a human rights commission that is independent and has investigation and adjudication power? Candidate Anderson.
I am totally devoted to the idea that we need to have opportunities for people to be housed. And over the last 20 years, I have been devoted to the idea of creating affordable housing and the practical aspect of creating affordable housing. 20 years ago, I sounded the alarm for what the problems are with housing in Kalamazoo, lack of affordability, and I've devoted most of my volunteer work life to helping create affordable housing. Whether the answer to that is a commission, I am not certain how that would work in the city of Kalamazoo. But I can tell you this, is that I have brought wider groups together, county-wide groups, and I think that's the kind of help we need if we're going to create a sufficient amount of affordable housing for people across Kalamazoo. I am a hard worker, will continue to do that work creating housing. In the time I've been at some of my the nonprofits I've volunteered for, we brought $50 million into Kalamazoo to create affordable housing. I wrote the millage that got passed in Kalamazoo County, which now has housed almost 300 families since it was passed. But we have to build collaborations, we have to reach across boundaries, and once again, this is an issue that we're going to have to address more than just in the city of Kalamazoo. We need everybody in the county to participate.
Thank you. Candidate Martinez?
Depending on when you wrote that bill to have 300 families housed, if it was 20 years ago, from 20 years ago to now, we didn't have an opioid epidemic that filled up half of downtown with drugs and community. So that's a whole different ball game when we're talking about affordable housing. Because first we have to figure out what is the root problem, and no one's going to the root problem. I mean, it's easy to get somebody into a house. It's easy to get people there, but it's hard to keep somebody from keeping their lawn up or staying away from drugs and maintain the property. People, it keeps going. You know, a lot of times I see people will put $56 million, but I know too many people that are broke and they still don't have a house. So over the last 20 years, I've seen the same broke people not go anywhere. You know, without any education, ain't no one, without lack, you know, when you don't have any knowledge, you're not gonna go anywhere. And so, you know, for the same thing from 20 years ago, it's a whole different ballgame. That's why I personally believe getting a young, energetic, young mayor that's in touch with the streets, in touch with the music, because this is the first generation where me and my kids listen to the same music. My parents hated rap music. They hated my music. And this is the first time where my daughter might be listening to Drake. And I'm like, I was just listening to that. So there's a connection there. So I think that there's so many homes, you know, and I still think that most people shouldn't have a 10-bedroom house when there's people homeless. I think we need to get out in the streets and ask people really what is the problem, or why aren't you housed? You know, I don't think we're doing that. I think we're just only saying we're going to do a lot of money and nothing's getting solved.
Candidate
Can you repeat that question again, please, if you don't mind?
Sure. Everyone in our community deserves access to housing. However, we know discrimination keeps people from accessing safe and affordable choices at times, resulting in homelessness. Do you support a human rights commission that is independent and has investigation and adjudication power?
Yes, the human rights commission is coming up. Yes, absolutely. I do agree that we need something along the lines of a human rights commission to make sure that people have affordable housing. One of the best arguments for that is the work that Matt Smith has done, and a lot of people have seen his presentation about redlining. Now, our city is still deeply, deeply segregated. And we have known this for a very long time, and we haven't been able to get past that. So we have to do better. If you look at where the city is at right now, in the 17-18 fiscal year, the city met about 60% of its goal for housing people in affordable housing. I'm a teacher, 60% is a D. That's not good enough. You know, we need to do better than that. So we need to be very aggressive in making sure that every single person has access. There's a program that is, I really like the way it's worked out of Seattle, and they call it a housing navigator. So they help people who are looking for affordable housing, set them up with someone who will not just find them housing, but will find them housing in neighborhoods that offer more economic and social opportunity. So it gives those residents a chance to have more opportunity, a chance to move forward in whatever their goals in life might be. It's a way to create equality and a way to fight segregation in communities.
Thank you. Any others?
So I think the key word there is discrimination. If you think about people who have with felony backgrounds who can't get affordable housing or access to housing, that box that's on that application is the process of elimination. The public perception about people with felonies are that they're bad people and they will always be bad people. And that's just a category of people that we're talking about housing. There's many categories. And so I think if we take a comprehensive look at this and not just say, well, it's going to be dealt with this way and that's the best way. We have to take an approach where we utilize collaboration, because the key to solution is collaboration. And so a committee that could steer that would be awesome. I agree with that. But you look at how people are discriminated against when it comes to housing. Some, it might be because of evictions. Some might be because they have no credit, right? And so we have to change that. We have to change that. And we have to work really hard at doing that. And so there's no one way to fix this issue, but we shouldn't make people pay more for what they already paid for when it comes to a crime they committed, right? We tend to do that in employment, we tend to do that in housing, we tend to do that in all of the resources we offer here in Kalamazoo. And so that's one of the things that I really want to work on, because everybody should have fair housing. Everybody should have access to that. We've been looking at a program called Housing First, where it helps people get housing first, right? Then supportive housing, then supportive services. So if we can figure out that model and implement it here on a greater level, we can impact housing in different categories. And so that's just one of those things you can look online and look at what Housing First is doing in the country.
Thank you.